Alright, so this deck right here just combines my XYZ frogs with Ties of the Brethren, just because I wanted to see a whole bunch of different decks I could actually use this card with. It works with frogs pretty well, because all the frogs are all level 2 aqua water type monsters, so you can bring out a poison draw frog and a dupe frog with Ties of the Brethren, and as long as you put dupe frog in defense mode, your opponent can only target dupe frog for attacks. Of course, if you have a dupe frog or poison draw frog and you can use it to bring out swap frog, because usually you want to use Ties of the Brethren on cards that have pretty good effects. It works pretty good with the frogs in here. Now, XYZ frogs, for those of you who don't know how they work, revolves around using Ronin Toad's effect where he's treated as Death Frog while on the field in order to combo it with Infernal Reckless Summon to bring out 3 Death Frogs from the deck. That way we can go into some nice rank 5 plays. This deck goes into rank 5 plays very easily because of that really nice name combo. And since Ronin Toad is like one of the easiest cards to special summon himself from the graveyard, like in the game, as long as you have Infernal Reckless Summon in your hand, you should be able to pull off the combo. This deck also pulls off the Water Elemental Lord, I can't say his name. Water Elemental Lord real easily. The Water Elemental Lord is probably one of the best Elemental Lords, because when he's brought out, you need to have exactly 5 water monsters in your graveyard. You can manipulate the cards in your graveyard real easily with frogs, so that shouldn't be a problem. If you have this card in your hand, you should be able to bring it out without too much trouble. And when it's brought out, your opponent discards 2 cards from their hand, which is a really good effect. He also has 2800 attack, which is not half bad. You can also use a bolt from out of the blue, or a wild monster appears. I don't know which one's the real name. I'm pretty sure it's a wild monster. Just to bring him out straight from your hand. The only reason this card's in here is just for the Elemental Lord, just because I think it's kind of fun to use sometimes. Every time I had this card in my hand, I also had this one, so I got kind of lucky with it. So just getting a discard on your opponent is pretty fun sometimes. That's why I have it in here. Yeah, I think that's it. This deck. Oh, also, of course, the Sea Lancer combo, where since this deck does use Dupe Frog and Poison Draw Frog, if you banish them with Ronin Toad to bring himself out, which this deck does, you can bring them back with Sea Lancer to your spell and trap card zone, and if Sea Lancer would be destroyed, you can send one of them to the graveyard instead, and if you send either Dupe Frog or Poison Draw Frog to the graveyard, you get to activate their effects. So you get to search off a Dupe Frog or draw a card off a Poison Draw Frog. Also, Tadpole's in here just because Death Frog's effect is actually kind of useful in this deck as well. Because if he's Tribute Summoned, you can special summon other Death Frogs from your deck up to the number of Tadpoles in your graveyard. So there's only one, and you'll need to bring out one of the Death Frog to go into a rank 5 anyway. So yeah, it's pretty good.